think it was. Well, hey everybody, welcome back to Buddies on Buddies, the show with two real life buddies talking about buddy action comedy movies. I'm Kenny Lane.
I'm Lucas Hill.
Here we are again. How you doing, Lucas?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I kind of nicked my finger though a little bit today on the cleaning the meat slicer at work. Whoops.
Yeah, that's what they warn you about your first
Yeah,
day. Watch out for that meat slicer; it'll get you.
yeah. It's a good bleeder. I don't think I need stitches. I haven't really looked at it yet since, but yeah, those things are sharp. Watch out.
Yeah. Were you daydreaming? Did you look away? What happened?
I was thinking about running in a field and just like looking off. And no, I went to go clean it. I use a paper towel, not a towel, and I'm just doing the wax on. And then and then I looked at it. It's like 1, 2, 3, blood starts. Boom. But I just got a first aid kit there, wrapped it up, whatever.
Well, that's fun. Well, I'm glad you made it.
Yeah, yeah, I survived. I'm a survivor, man.
Yeah, at least I didn't take off a huge chunk or anything. You know.
No, no, not too bad.
We have a buddy, Chad. You remember Chad? I
Yeah.
used to work with him. He was a line cook for years. That's one of my first jobs was working under with him as a line cook, but he was seniority. And he had like pieces of his fingers missing from cutting them off, and he was like all proud of it. Yeah, you're gonna cut your things off when you cook. And I was like, I haven't lost anything. I think I'm good. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
you're
It's not
just
really a
getting
badge of
lost.
honor. No.
Yeah, good.
How you been?
I've been good. Not much to report. Just living the Vita Loca.
Yeah,
I think that means living the fifth life.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any cool stories to tell. You know, why do you have any questions about my life? You seem curious.
What the fuck are you doing with your life, bro? Come on.
Yeah.
Get your shit together, dude. That's my question.
I haven't heard that in a long time because the people who normally ask that question gave up a long time ago. That's just
Yeah,
it.
I haven't heard that question in years. Makes me nostalgic.
No, things are good. It's a cold day in Arizona, maybe the last true cold one of the year, so it's been
Yeah,
nice. Yeah.
right on. Crisp, yeah. Hey, what movie are we covering today?
We're doing Pineapple Express.
Yes, the 2008 Columbia Pictures release, directed by David Gordon Green and starring Seth Rogen and James Franco.
Yeah, I would throw what's his face's name. He's a pretty big part in it. But that's
Danny
fine.
McBride?
Yeah, yeah. But other than that, that was great. So before we get to Pineapple Express, and we're really looking forward to it, uh, is there any other movie you want to talk about that you watched since our
Well,
last episode?
yeah, before that, I want to give a shout out to my friend Jerry, who I work with, who he requested Pineapple Express. So, hey, if you guys want to request something, we'll do it. Just throw it out there. But anyway, we're doing this one. But another guy, a friend, one of the regulars that comes in, yeah, he actually watches the show, and he wanted to know how do we pick the movies we're going to be selecting, because he throws a lot of stuff at me. He's like, "What about this one?" And I'm like, "No, that doesn't fit the criteria." Do you want to give some insight on that?
Well, first it has to be a buddy
Mhm.
action comedy.
Yeah.
It's got to be about buddies.
Hmm.
It's got to have action and it's got to have comedy. And
Yeah.
it can't just have one scene of comedy or one scene of action. It's got to be the whole movie.
Yeah.
It's got to focus on the buddies.
Right.
Second, you have to bring options to Kenny and he shoots them down. He shoots them down until he goes, now we'll do mine. And then we end up doing his 90% of the time.
Yeah, that's about right. I'd say.
Yeah.
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 Some of the ones he threw out we should do, and I'll see if you think they are. The Flintstones.
Absolutely not. That's a family movie. There's very little action and very little comedy.
Okay. Flight of the Navigator.
What the fuck are you talking about? I guess he's kind of a buddy with the flying
The
thing,
I thing.
but that's sci-fi. It's not an action nor is it a comedy. There's comedic elements. It's not a comedy.
Okay. Spaceballs.
Absolutely not. That's a spoof.
Okay. So it's not just me.
No, no, no. These are bad choices. These are bad choices. And that's why we're here. We wouldn't put
Yeah.
ourselves on camera and record this 3 times a week unless we knew we were great gatekeepers of what is an action buddy comedy.
The best gatekeepers, curators, what have you. Well,
Or
anyway, there you go. There you go, Kevin.
experts. Experts.
Experts. Yes.
Yeah, sorry, Kevin. That's his
Yeah.
name. Yeah. Thanks for watching. We're the experts. It's cute though. I'll sign anything you want. Um,
Our cameo link is in the below.
yeah. Insert OnlyFans joke. We're good to go.
Oh, so what have you seen lately?
Oh, you asked me. I watched the Mel Brooks, the documentary, the two-part
Hmm.
documentary on HBO. Highly
Hmm.
suggest it because we have a problem. We've talked about this, but when it's a documentary about someone who's still alive and they're the subject of the documentary, it becomes pretty. I like the term masturbatory, just because it makes
Hmm.
me think about masturbation,
Of
but it
course.
becomes a little too soft, because the subject's still alive, so you can't dig deep. This one
Right.
felt like it dug really deep for the subject being alive and being interviewed for a lot of it. And
Hmm.
it really does a great job encompassing his entire career and life, even the darker aspects, which I don't think he had too many anyway. It's not like he
Hmm.
was doing cocaine and disappearing for nights.
Right.
But he was honest about his divorce and how he was, and his kids are honest about how he was and stuff. So it was interesting.
I was wondering about that because I did pick up Mel Brooks' biography one time. It was a huge one, but it did talk about like he divorced his first family for Anne Bancroft, like right before Young Frankenstein and Blazing Saddles came out, and basically gave them the option of like, hey, take this money or get points. So they just took the money, but then basically they got screwed out of all his money basically.
Yeah, they don't go into the financial details, but they do. The kids talk about how he was there and then he wasn't, and then he would make an effort and then his movies blew up and then he was gone.
Well, typical Hollywood story. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
a family guy, then all of a sudden you're famous, and bye bye, getting the
Yeah.
Hollywood wife, and that kind of that old song and dance.
Yeah,
But
it's a
still,
familiar
love
story.
Mel Brooks.
Yeah, it's really all encompassing. I highly suggest. I really like these Judd Apatow movies he's doing with all these comedians. Like, I'm
Yeah.
glad he's out there doing them because as a comedy nerd, I eat them up. So I'm glad he's using those as his passion project. I'm sure he's makes some money, but he can't make that much money off these, right?
Documentaries tend to not make
Yeah.
much money. It's like writing a book now. You don't really make too much money off of it.
So I really appreciate that he's out there doing it because I'm not going to do it. So yeah.
And he has the access too to
Mhm.
these guys.
Well, of course, if I went out and tried to do it, no, who are you?
Yeah.
Plus,
Albert Brooks, knock, knock, knock. Hey, I want to make a documentary about you.
it'd be edited all weird and shot on my camera and like, what
Yeah.
the fuck is this? It's the most unfocused documentary I ever saw. But regardless, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
What have you seen?
Megan and I went to the movie, saw Solo Mio, that Kevin James rom com. It was cute, very predictable, of course, but it was enjoyable. And any like rom com doesn't totally suck, I think, is a major triumph. The interesting thing though was it was by Angel Studios. Are you familiar with Angel Studios?
No.
Well, it's that Christian production that's actually gotten kind of big in the last like few years or so. Made a few hits. I've noticed we've seen a few Angel Studio movies, like because they play here at our local theater,
Mm.
and they are pretty well made for like the Christian films. This is the first one though that had zero like religious, I don't know, overt or covert message at all. I couldn't find anything about it. It had this weird stamp of approval at the beginning, like this has been approved by the Angel Code, and there's some like drinking and partying and shit in there, but I mean, you would not know it's a Christian studio that made this. I thought that was kind of interesting. There's nothing about it that would see that.
Sorry, first of all, I barely know this movie exists. I do know it exists, but barely. But what is the premise? I don't even know the premise.
Oh, it's just a typical shit. It's like Kevin James is left at the altar, decides to go on his honeymoon in Italy anyway. He hooks up with a local barista. They fall in love. That deal.
Is it funny? Are there good comedic set pieces? Anything
I
like that?
mean, it's cute. There are some funny parts. I kind of like Kevin James. I remember you giving me shit back in the day for watching King of Queens because I was a fan.
Yeah, but now I
Uh,
like it. So I watched it
okay,
when I was older. Like, so now I'm like, okay,
yeah,
I like the show.
yeah. So yeah, so
But still,
it's
when I tell people that, they give me shit. I'm like,
yeah,
fair enough.
it's
I was, it was the same way.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's cute. I mean, it's nothing like wow or anything, but it's a fine, easy sit through.
So you
Easy
go
watch.
see a lot of these Christian movies?
We've seen a few, yeah, the Jesus Revolution and something else. And I've noticed that like the Christian movies have like as far as the writing, the acting, all that, the filmmaking. There's that one with the guy with Shazam as Kurt Warner.
Zach
Like,
Levi?
yeah, this is called American Underdog. The movies have gotten better, like just the filmmaking wise, they've really stepped up. But yeah. So, but I've noticed this one was the first one to just have anything. They didn't say you wouldn't know it was like a Christian studio that made it. That was interesting.
That's funny. So
Yeah.
they're starting to make money and they're moving away from their Christian roots and they'll be making
I
porn in
don't
the
know.
next 10 years or something.
I'm thinking, well, Kevin James like co-wrote the script to this one, so I'm thinking maybe he was just shopping it around, and the only one that got interest was like Angel Studios. Like, we'll make this, but just cut out maybe this joke and this f word, and you're good.
Hmm. And you're not overly religious, right? Where do you stand? What is your religion? We're gonna get into Pineapple Express. I know you're all
The usual Lucas grilling about my politics and religion must go
yeah.
ahead.
Sorry, what
Um,
is your religion? Where do you stand religiously speaking?
I'm Episcopalian, raised confirmed Episcopalian. I go to church
And that means you can
occasionally.
eat fish.
That's that's pescatarian. That's not Episcopalian. It's the Church of England. It's a branch, kind of a branch off of the Catholic Church. More American presidents have been Episcopalian than any other religion, by the way. So anyway, I go to church occasionally. I went to church like a week or two ago. Yeah, it's my religion, I guess.
And
How
you
about
believe
you?
it?
Do you
You
ever go to
believe
church? Let me
you
guess.
believe no, of course not. You believe
Yeah.
that shit though? Like you truly believe that? Like, oh, this is real.
I struggle with my faith, let's say. I mean, when you break it down, I mean, all religion, it's like born a virgin. Well, okay, that's scientifically impossible. So we haven't gotten anywhere and we're just starting and it's already ridiculous. But so I'll say I struggle with my faith. Yes and no. I know it's kind of a cop out answer, but there you are.
What do you think happens when we die?
Oh, wow. We're getting deep here on buddies on
But
buddies.
then we're
buddies.
getting straight into Pineapple Express.
I think it's something like an energy or like a spirit kind of thing, like where your energy or still goes on. And I don't know if it's you go to the clouds with an old white man. I don't know any of that's that's right, but I think something. I think there is something about your spirit or your energy that goes somewhere after you die.
Sounds like you need to think about this. Well, let's jump into Pineapple
So,
Express.
well, how about you? Where do you think happens after you die?
Nothing. You die.
Nothing. That's it. It's over.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not a big fucking
Fair
mystery.
enough.
Everybody actually gets this big mystery and there's some magical thing that's gonna happen. That's it, buddy.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's magical being alive, so enjoy it, you know? God.
Okay. We're
So-
all here just cause.
Yeah, the hard honest truth. Yeah. So
All
let's
right. Fair enough.
we're mathematical what's what I'm looking for. Unicorn, kind of. You know, we're very rare. So it's
Okay.
magical and that's magical in itself.
You're saying we're a mathematical unicorn, and yeah, I'm. That's more logical.
It's the only logical answer. In
All
my
right. Okay.
oh, I mean, do you have a more logical answer than that?
We're all magic, made from fairy dust, and we got God and the devil battling for our souls here.
Yeah. And I would love for that to be true, but you know,
Not buying it.
I can't.
Yeah.
Pineapple Express.
Pineapple Express. Hey.
What is the log line or the premise of Pineapple Express?
Press Pineapple Express. Okay. Well, a process server. He's like a slacker, 20s. He has a pot dealer. They get mixed up. Witnesses a murder, and then bad guys are after him. Car chases, shootouts. That's basically it.
Yeah. And what were your general feelings on Pineapple Express?
Well, let me ask you, what's your history with this movie? Because I think we actually saw this together.
Did we?
I think we went to the
I
movies.
remember seeing this, but I could be wrong. My memory plays tricks on me, especially the further back I go. I realize you can't rely on memory, and that's why they don't use them in courts anymore, or they never have really. But what's it called? I remember seeing it at Century City Mall.
Mm-hmm. I
Is
think,
that
I
what
think
you
I went
remember
with you.
Okay. So yeah, I think I was working at United Artists at the time, and we went over and watched it after work or on that Saturday or
I
something.
think it was around this time, like it came out. Maybe the other guys came around this because I think we were writing the Sunset Takedown. We saw a couple of these to kind of get,
Yeah.
he was trying to write a buddy action comedy or something. So
Yeah, it had to. I was trying to pin down the year from when we saw it and everything, but
Yeah.
we were at the age to be jealous of filmmakers like this who are,
oh yeah,
you know, like they get to make these and they're funny and they're talented and they're hard and they're ambitious and they have connections. And we're just like smoking weed and drinking our apartment. Why haven't we made it?
yeah.
But yeah, I remember liking it. I always liked Seth Rogen. Never had jealousy over him. I just appreciated his shit. Danny McBride's so funny, you can't be jealous of him.
Mhm.
And I remember just loving it. Like, not loving it, but liking it a lot, you know. 'Cause it's the last true pot movie.
I was thinking about that too.
So it brought me back to my 20s watching it, and that brought some melancholy while I was watching it. which
Really?
barely, yeah, because I was thinking back to my 20s and stuff, like not necessarily all bad, but it
Mhm.
like unnecessarily brought back nostalgia and not all great ways, but some great ways.
Oh, that's right. Yes, 'cause usually when we get nostalgic, it's like, oh man, I remember this shit, but it's really like you said, melancholy, like kind of like made you sad.
Yeah, so not sad, but more like, not happy. Not like, oh,
Like you were sad about those days, or is it, or are you
no,
sad
no.
about now, or what? I don't know. Yeah.
As you get closer to death, you
Uh
think
huh.
about your 20s and stuff, you think about it differently.
Hmm.
Anyway, what did you think of what is your history with the movie?
Well, as we saw it together, I remember actually being a little, I hate to say like disappointed, but it was because I was so, into these kind of movies, and Seth Rogen was coming off of like Super Bad and Knocked Up and stuff like that. And it was a Judd Apatow produced movie, and he was like the king at the time. And I was like, oh, Buddy Action Comedies is these guys stoners. It's gonna be great. And I was kind of, it's weird to say, I was underwhelmed. I don't know what I was looking for, but watching it again, I kind of felt the same way. Like it's look, it's as far as these kind of movies go, it's not a bad one. It's better than a lot of the ones we probably review on here. Yeah, go ahead.
I think just thinking back, I remember in the trailer when he goes to kick out the windshield and his foot gets
Mhm.
caught. I was like, that's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Hmm.
And that's kind of the highlight of the movie.
Yeah,
The same way watching it now, I remembered that I
yeah,
remember in the movie, and then that's kind of like the funniest, biggest moment of the movie
yeah,
build. But I've already seen it. I already know it's coming. So
yeah.
yeah, anyway, I think it's a really tight movie. Like everything
Hmm.
is so slick. It's like might be one of the slickest as far as no plot holes. For a movie like this, you'd think there'd be plenty of plot holes, and there might be some, but I thought it was very slick and tight.
Well, I thought it was, like I said, it's pretty slick. It's pretty well made. It flows well. There are some pretty big plot contrivances, coincidences. Those kind of stuck out to me. There is some stuff too, like the opening scene. Talk about that with going to the bunker. It's like 1937 or something. That I thought was pretty unnecessary. It was kind of, I love Bill Hader, but I don't didn't really. That was needless, giving us history on pot. And then when they did that thing where Seth Rogen's calling into some radio show and he's like, "It's pot's so good, it makes shitty movies even better." And I was just like, this is gonna be this might be a rough one, but it did flow pretty well.
And I think a lot of the melancholy or nostalgia I felt went back to my day smoking pot because I smoked pot back then. I don't
Mm-hmm.
smoke pot anymore because it makes me all fucking insane.
Yeah.
And I couldn't imagine smoking pot again. And I kind of felt bad for these characters getting high during big situations, but even though it means nothing to them.
Well, back then it meant nothing to us too. We get smoke weed
Yeah.
all the time. Who cares? But with this one, as far as the pot, I haven't quit smoking. I think like last fall. I think was the last time I smoked pot. It was mostly for my volunteer gig stuff with the fire department stuff. But yeah, I don't know. This movie did make me feel old because this is the first time I really noticed the profanity. Like everything is fuck, shit, sex joke, just it's non-stop. There's 180 fucks in this movie, where I was like, wow, this is like a lot of profanity. I don't ever remember thinking like clocking the profanity in something.
The cursing didn't bother me at all. But yeah, the sophomore low hanging fruit jokes are just not funny at all.
Mhm.
And just like, oh, great, a blowjob joke. That's really funny. Oh, this is a runner. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a lot. This movie actually, it doesn't seem dated at all. It came out 18 years ago, which is it's like that's kind of freaky to think about. But like I would say that where it's really aged is its attitude towards pot. It seems very dated. Like ever since it's been legalized in most states, it just seems like this whole like everyone's eating edibles now and no one cares, and it's all oh they're smoking weed. Whoa, outrageous.
Well, he even says in the line of weed's not legal in 5 years, the system's a failure. And
Mhm.
that was probably meant as a joke, but I think weed probably was legal. I mean, it was
Probably.
already criminalized by the time this movie was made. So,
I don't think so. I think it started getting criminalized like right around like 2000, maybe like just a couple years afterwards or
but
something.
in LA, he literally says when the cop comes and he's smoking weed, he's like, this is decriminalized. I'm allowed to smoke
Well,
it.
I think that yeah, I'm not sure if that's I don't know. I have to go back, but it was like within, I think just a year or two afterwards, where you still you could get like a medical permit for it, but you couldn't just walk into a store and buy it till a little like I think a few years afterwards.
Regardless, did you ever get your medical license for marijuana back in the
I
day?
never did. No, I found a store and you did. I remember you would always go hook me up. But there was a store in Venice that was just kind of like you had you had a card and you just held it up to the ring cam and then you open up and then you just walk in. They'll just sell you whoever. It was kind of a back door kind of thing. And then one day I went to go and it was just locked up. Like the cops got it. So yeah, that was my go-to place for like a year or two at least.
It seems so archaic now, but that was how it
Yeah.
was. It does avoid many of the cliches in a lot of these movies. The only one that
Mhm.
really hits, and it hits hard, especially in the set piece later when they're trying
Mhm.
to cut off the handcuffs and it looks like they're fucking, is homophobia. Like,
Yeah, there's a lot of like, well, it's like gay sex, shit joke. It's just constant.
yeah. I have like next to no notes on this movie.
I
It's
didn't really take down too many notes. I mean, I didn't really think the guys were that likable. I wasn't really rooting for them. I know it's these dumb comedies, stoner comedies. You're not supposed to really care, but Seth Rogen's character I thought was kind of a jerk, and even James Franco's was kind of the lovable idiot. I just thought he was just kind of annoying. And so I wasn't the guys I did like in the movie though were Danny McBride and Craig Robinson. I thought that they did make me laugh. I thought they were pretty funny.
yeah, Craig Robinson especially. I don't remember him being that stand out, but he's pretty
Mhm.
when he's crying after he gets the
Yeah.
coffee hit to his face is
Uh-huh.
funny to me. Talking, he has a great line where he's talking about, "I know I'm tough as nails, but I still got feelings," and you hurt every one of them.
Yeah, he had a lot of good lines actually. I wonder if some of those are improvs.
So there was good stuff. Yeah, they take the time to make the villains more interesting than they have to be.
Hmm.
I don't know. The action's really well directed and surprising. It's violent and visceral,
Yeah.
which is shocking, especially when it first starts the fight in Danny McBride's
Hmm.
apartment.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
Well, some of
Pretty
these too, I think it's
fun.
kind of riffing on these old. Some are pretty violent. Some of the old, like classic buddy action comedy movies, like Lethal Weapon, or even like the Beverly Hills Cop movies have a high body count and shit for comedies.
Yeah, and they lean into that, which is great. And they lean into
Hmm.
action. They subvert a lot of the action genre expectations, where they will kill
Hmm.
people who they spend time making interesting. And then like the end where they're finding guns everywhere. Like, oh, here's
Yeah.
a gun. He just turns over. Oh, cool. And grabs more guns.
Yeah.
Like that's some good stuff.
It was more clever than it needed to be, but I don't know, just the whole thing didn't really I don't know. It's kind of frustrating ones. I feel like I should be into it more than I am.
And talk about the unlikableness of the characters.
Hmm.
James Franco, who is, has been accused of sexual shit.
Which, yeah, I should probably cover that since we cover every time we have a nefarious buddy in one of these movies, we kind of go over it.
Like he taught an acting class and sexually assaulted a woman.
Hmm.
There's 5 allegations against him.
Well, from what I heard, yeah, it's I think, and allegedly Tim Robbins had the
Accusation.
same kind of thing going for a while. He had like an acting group or the Actors Gang or some shit like that, and they only really his acting group that he allowed in were usually like attractive young women. He did a very like hands-on approach to his classes, and if you listen to what he says, hey, you might get a part in an upcoming movie. It was kind of one of those creepy kind of deals.
Yeah, Franco admitted to sleeping with acting students. Um, I guess he admitted it, but
I
he
wonder how
only
much he had to
admitted it.
pay to be in like his classes. It's like groundlings like $600 a class, and then you get like
Well, apparently he paid out 2.2 million to settle sexual misconduct,
yeah.
according to the Times. Yeah, that's why you haven't seen him in too much lately. And it's hard to watch this, and he's supposed to be this lovable idiot. And you're like, this guy's a snake.
There's a creep. Yeah, even Seth Rogen says they did a few movies together. Even they worked together all going back to Freaks and Geeks, but says he's like not going to work with him in the future, like ever.
I had a very close friend who's one of their best friends was James Franco's girlfriend at the time.
Mhm.
And my friend hated James Franco because Franco insisted they have an open relationship, which just meant Franco could sleep with whoever he wanted.
Right.
But I don't know him personally. Another story I have with James Franco.
Hmm.
A friend of mine, when I was working at UA, a friend of mine at MGM, and we were in the same building, we'd play softball together.
Hmm.
He had James Franco's email because he worked in like the business department. He sent James Franco an email saying like some movie he did sucked and thought it was really funny. I'm like, that's not funny. You shouldn't have done that. And then he got canned for it.
Well, yeah. Why would you say, why would you just send an email to a
I don't know.
person like this and say like, "Hey, your movie sucked"? Like, of course you're gonna get fired for that
Yeah,
shit.
James Franco responded to his email like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Like, "Fuck you," because it's his email was like at MGM, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Then
It's
he
like,
gets
oh my god, I
fired.
just told James Franco to fuck himself. Haha, owned. Yeah,
Yeah, I'll tell you who it is off camera, but it probably won't surprise you
yeah.
because you have met the guy. So yeah, it's hard to watch that. And then he's dating a high school girl. Don't worry, she's 18, so it's not that creepy.
Well,
But
and making out at her locker, and yeah, he goes to high school and is hanging out there. I didn't really find him very. Yeah, it was very odd. The whole that I guess what happened was it was supposed to be the original script was he was dating like an older businesswoman who wanted him to get his shit together,
mm,
or they thought that was too close to the arc in Shaun of the Dead, which was popular around that time. So they tried to it's the same thing. Let's not look like we're copying that, but I don't think that was a good choice as far as making his character ingratiating.
he also, and I love Seth Rogen, but when he's acting like all crazy, no, we got to do this, we got to do this, I found
Yeah,
it overbearing and grating.
yeah,
It's not like when like Charles Grodin does that and it's
yeah,
really funny and someone's like losing their shits or like a
yeah,
Gene Wilder.
yeah,
You're just kind of like, dude, relax. Like, could you just relax and let this scene play out as like
uh,
a viewer, you know?
yeah.
But he was in his 20s. He's still
Southern Roman
funny.
can be likable. He's good in a bunch of other stuff and stuff. But this just yeah, this one just goes kind of off putting from the get go for me. I don't know.
It's cool to see Rosie Perez and stuff.
Yeah, even though her character didn't really have a lot. I don't know. It almost like it was a little underwritten. Maybe I don't know. Like
Well,
I was even there.
according to IMDb, which you can't always trust, she
Mhm.
requested a lot of her lines get cut to make her
Mhm.
character more mysterious. But it could have just been saving face, you know?
When they just cut her scenes, I'm like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, because I wanted that to happen.
Because she's never bad, so I don't know why she didn't have more to do.
Right.
It's always great to see Coleman. I think he's
Very
great.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
solid actor.
yeah, but also he's underwritten too. They should have
Yeah,
fleshed those characters out more in their relationship more.
yeah.
And Danny McBride, this was like his big. I know he did the Fist Foot Way, but this was his big one after that, right?
Well, he was kind of like Bill Hader there for a while, where he was just thrown in like all these different like movie. Like he was in like every comedy after that for like those few years. Just like yeah, like Tropic Thunder and Hot Rod, and just boom, they're throwing those guys in everything at small parts, and
The best scene in this movie wasn't in the script. It was my favorite scene, besides kicking the foot through the windshield when they're at the diner, and that was all
oh
just
yeah,
improvised later. But that's so funny where there's recapping the movie like anybody would
uh,
in real life. Can you believe that happened? Can you believe
yeah,
that happened? And you did that, and you did that. Like it's really funny idea.
yeah. Easily that was easily the best part of the movie. That end scene there.
What were the plot contrivances that bothered you? Oh yeah, Bobby Lee's in this. He has
I saw
nothing
Bob.
to
Yeah,
do.
I clocked Bobby Lee and Ken Jong or whatever his
Yeah,
name is.
he
Yes,
plays a straight guy the whole time. Says one funny thing in
yeah.
Korean, and that's it.
Well, it's just that, like, he goes to the place is like, oh, the guy I'm serving happens to be the guy that you're, buying pot from. And then I'm just going to apply there. Oh, I see him shoot this guy in front of this huge open window like for all the neighbors to see. And then, oh, I threw out the joint. He's going to pick up the joint. He's going to smell it. He's going to know that got to you. It just seemed like that was a little,
That was the only one where they jumped to the conclusion that I threw the joint out. He's going to smell it and know what kind of pot it is.
yeah,
But
yeah.
that was the only one that was ridiculous to me. Other than that, I thought it was funny that they decided to go into the forest and then they have this long bullshit scene that holds no merit, doesn't move anything forward, but they're
Uh,
just a couple of idiots. So I thought that was funny.
yeah.
And then
Uh,
they have the scene of him and what's his face, Danny McBride arming up, and then
yeah,
McBride just leaves, so it doesn't really add to much. I like those little touches, the
yeah,
detours for no reason.
like kind of like subverting expectations and
Yeah,
stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Did you clock the Huey Lewis in the News song,
I
Pineapple
listened,
Express?
yeah, I was listening to it, I was like, oh, that's Huey Lewis in the new song. I don't know this one. So, and then they started singing about smoking pot and Pineapple Express, so I assumed they commissioned it for the movie.
Well, yeah, I think they did commission it for the movie, but I've noticed in movies when they do, especially commission a song and then they bury it as the second song in the end credits to play, it usually means that the filmmakers were not very impressed with this song. What if you bury it in the second half of the credits? They figure everyone's just left the theater by then or turned the movie off. So, and I am a big Huey Lewis the News fan, but I would say that was a bad casting. I don't know why they, thought
It wouldn't have made sense with the tone of the movie at all.
no, and like even stoner movie, I don't think Huey Lewis knew. Oh yeah, the classic stoner, Huey Lewis in the News.
So, do you have any more to say about this movie?
Not really. But I was going to ask you, yeah, is it? We're talking about this might be the last stoner movie. You realize that I was trying to think that there has been kind of stoner like stuff like Inherent Vice and that Under the Silver Lake or something, but not like a stoner comedy like the Up in Smoke, Half Baked, How High, like those kind of things. Is this the last one of those?
Well, I was thinking about it, and probably unless you did a period piece, but even then, it's lost its edge as being something that was a subculture that was very popular, enough to sell tickets to a movie
Mm-hmm.
that was still illegal. So it had the fight the power aspect to it. And I was thinking, like, what modern drug is like that? And there really isn't one that I can think of. You can't do like, hey, Coke's cool, and we're all love Coke, even though it's still
Yeah.
illegal. I can't think of one. Like
Or
maybe
what's that new shit
Aftershock.
that's in like this that's powder like all the kids are sniffing? What is that? Ketamine or no? It's the
Ketamine special.
poison.
People sniff special fentanyl.
Fentanyl. Yeah, do a fentanyl
Oh yeah.
stoner comedy.
All the kids are snorting fetty. Yeah.
Come on, let's do some fentanyl in the back room. Like, oh, here comes a teacher. Whoop.
Yeah, and using all those famous songs about Special K and fat. Sure, they're out there.
Yeah,
Yeah, so no, I think it's a subculture that's gone now.
yeah. One thing I want to say is like when I was telling people like about yeah we're gonna do this episode and I kind of noticed when I tell my friends like hey you might want to tune in we're gonna cover like Last Action Hero or this one. Oh I love that movie I want to see that one or Wild Wild West and then I kind of crap on it and then they're like well fuck him like so I think there's a flaw in like people might tune in just for the movie they like and then instead of them just watch me or you or both of us kind of crap on it.
Well, I don't really give a shit.
Boom.
So how would you rate Pineapple Express as
Well, it
a
is well
buddy action
made.
comedy?
It is well made. It did make me laugh. It's one of the better. It just doesn't really do it for me for whatever reason. So I'll give it like 2.5.
And maybe it was, because it was, I don't know. I can tell when they're improvising now and when they're
Yeah,
cutting to improvise lines and improvise reactions and ADRing lines in and stuff because we've had so many of these movies. It was
right.
fresh when it came out. It was
Yeah,
still fresh.
this actually did give me that you're talking about nostalgia kind of rush or something, and I did it almost forgot like how big or how Judd Apatow. I know this is David Gordon Green directed this, but it's still kind of that Apatow umbrella
Yeah,
that
but
was at the
Apatow's
time.
fingers are all over it. He's a story by and all this stuff.
Right, right. So it was like how he was kind of like the king of Hollywood comedies there when Hollywood comedies still like, people went out to them in the theaters and stuff. He was like the king there for, I don't know, good 5 years or something.
I would say as a buddy action comedy, the buddies, I mean, they had chemistry. It's hard
Mhm.
to watch it without knowing what James Franco is now,
Right.
but they were still solid. The comedy's solid. It's a comedy first, but then the
Hmm.
action's actually surprisingly really fucking
Not
good.
bad.
Yeah. So I don't know. As a buddy action comedy, I'd give it 3.5, closer to 4 stars. As a movie, it's still a 3-star movie.
Yeah, I guess I'd be a little lower just because it doesn't work. I don't know. It's like it's all the elements are there. This is definitely comes in. This definitely qualifies very much so for our stuff. But it's I don't know. Not doesn't really not one of my favorites.
What are we doing next? What suggestions have your barflies given you for us to do for
Oh,
our
that actually would work. Well, I mean, I picked up a couple of VHSs from the local like Christian store because I'm a Christian and I go there and I believe in God and Jesus with all my heart. I got Midnight Run. We haven't done that one. That is like a classic
let's do
one. We
Midnight Run. I can't believe we haven't done that.
Yeah,
Let's
we haven't done Midnight Run yet, so maybe
yeah.
we should do that one.
Yeah, we'll do Midnight Run. Well, cool. And these tariffs, what do
What
you
about
think?
them? I don't even know if anyone
The
knows what the hell a tariff
The
is.
Supreme Court said no.
That's gonna be interesting because I thought he stacked it with a bunch of like justices last time.
He did. He's not happy.
I'm sure he's not. Did he Truth Social about it?
I'm sure he did. I don't know what
Hmm.
it say. You're on True Social all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Are you on Blue Sky?
I don't know what that is.
It's the Twitter or alternative that's more left wing.
So that's a no then. No,
You're just straight up on Twitter,
I'm not on Twitter either.
but you know the what was the one you called it? The
Well, his Truth Social gets posted in the
True
news all the
Social.
time
That's the one you're
because
on.
he constantly posts on his Truth Social like stuff all the time.
And you're on True Social. How many
Again, I'm
followers?
not on it. I
How
see his
many
posts though in the news.
you see them in the news?
Yeah,
Just be honest. How many followers do you have on True Social?
not enough.
What are you doing this weekend?
Golf,
Oh, you're
bingo.
golfing?
Yeah, simulator. Still raining.
How do I fucking stop this?